War? What war? Are we talking about the same thing here? Remember the good old days? No, not the 1950s. I'm talking about centuries ago. Back when battles were fought with swords and shields and the stakes were as high as the castles they defended. Back when countries declared war with the pomp and circumstance of a Renaissance fair, but with less lute music and more bloodshed. It was a grand spectacle, almost theatrical in its execution. You know, like sending a strongly worded letter delivered by a guy in a powdered wig saying, "We declare war, prepare to be invaded," or whatever. It was formal, almost like a twisted form of etiquette. These days it's all a bit more ambiguous, isn't it? The lines are blurred and the declarations are more like whispers in the corridors of power. It's like asking someone out on a date by just vaguely hanging out near them in the break room for a few weeks. No clear intentions, just a lot of awkwardness and uncertainty. Is it a war on terror, a conflict, a special military operation? The terminology keeps changing, and with it, the clarity of the situation. Honestly, it's harder to keep track of than a game of international diplomacy played by toddlers hopped up on sugar. The rules are constantly shifting, and the players are always changing.
But seriously, why the change? What happened to the clear-cut declarations of the past? Why don't countries declare war anymore? Is it a sign of progress or just a new form of confusion? Buckle up, because we're diving into the wild world of international relations, where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. It's a complex, ever-evolving landscape, and we're here to navigate it together. To understand this mess, we'll use the Kipling method. It's a straightforward way to break down complex issues. Who? Me and you trying to figure this out. We're the detectives in this historical mystery. What? The decline of the formal war declaration. This shift has changed the nature of global conflicts. When? Let's say post-World War II. When everyone got a little tired of the whole total global annihilation thing. The world was ready for a new approach. Where? Everywhere. From the streets of Baghdad to the, well, mostly just the streets of Baghdad, but also in other conflict zones around the world. Why? Now we're getting to the good stuff. The reasons are complex and multifaceted. The why is where things get juicy. It's about power, politics, and the changing nature of international relations. And the how is basically a big ol' shrug emoji. It's not always clear-cut. Historian, the decline of formal war declarations is a fascinating topic. It reflects broader changes in how nations interact. After World War II, the global community shifted towards more subtle forms of conflict. Diplomacy and covert operations became more common. The idea of openly declaring war became less appealing due to the immense destruction witnessed during the World Wars. The cost was simply too high. Exactly. The how is a bit murky, but the why is where we get to the heart of the matter. Understanding these reasons helps us grasp the complexities of modern conflicts. Right. So it's all about navigating the complex web of modern geopolitics while carefully avoiding the pitfalls of outright declarations. Enter the Cold War, where things weren't exactly peaceful, but they were a lot less declared. The world was on edge, but the battles were fought in the shadows. It was all about proxy wars, covert operations, and generally trying to outmaneuver the other guy without blowing up the planet. Espionage became the name of the game, with spies and secret missions taking center stage. Journalists, and you know what? It kind of worked. For a while anyway. Diplomats worked tirelessly to keep the peace, even if it was a fragile one. Indeed, the shift from open warfare to more covert and strategic forms of conflict marked a significant change in how nations interacted on the global stage. The strategies evolved, but the tension remained ever present.